wanted to wrap up this week and just start off by showing you. Uh, well, this is my holdings sheet or holdings portfolio. Um, so, what is it showing you? If you've been using this tool and been working using it, it'll show you the number of shares I have on each of these items. This shows you the the change, percent change. This shows you today's gain and percent gain. This shows you the total and total percent gains. Some of these are doing pretty well. FET, I'm up 20%. Now I'm up 15%. SMHB, 10%. Ladder, I'm up 17, almost 18%. And MEGF, I'm up 10.5%. For the total, my total portfolio right now, I'm up 12.65%. I'm happy with that. Would I like to see more? Well, everybody would. But, anyways, this is where I'm at. Now, one of the files I wanted to share is this one here that I've been putting together, or I use, I should say. And what I do is like here, if you see, I've got the same symbols that I'm tracking, and I've got the goal price. This is what I'm hoping that it's going to go to. In other words, if I get to these values or somewhere near these values, I'm going to take profit and move on. Now, where am I establishing these numbers? Now, these are the price I paid, the shares I have, the total amount of the purchase, if I hit the goal, what the sale would be, and the total profit if I hit my goals. So if I hit my goals right now, I'll effectively take $1,290 or $1,260, something like that. I have to go back and look at the exact number, and more than double it. Okay, so or close to double. Anyways, it's a long day. Anyhow, point being is all right. These numbers, because that's one of the things you got to think about. It's real easy to get into an investment. Well, when do you know to get out of it? A couple of rules of thumb I have for when to get out of it. If something comes up in the some kind of a reporting or something that makes you go, well, all right, what's going on there? It makes you concerned. Um, might give you cause to want to take profit early. I did that with EVRI recently. I may go back to it. I don't know. We'll see. But so I did that. But for the most part, I'm looking at the price points. So let's look at Ford real quick. All right. So with Ford, what I look at here is prior to the coronavirus. I'm looking at what's the average or the I'm not looking at the highest number possible, right? Like there's 1042. Might it get back to $10.42? It might. What's the probability when you look at all this? Not real high. But what's the possibility of getting down to here? All right, that shows me 854. Okay, so you go back to the spreadsheet at Ford. So I put it at 8. If I get to 8, and if I bought this at $4.90 a share, that's good profit. That's really good profit. I'm happy with that. And if it gets near that, maybe it gets to 775. I might take a strong look at what's going on and decide what I want to do there. Part of it, you might want to keep an eye on the volume that's being traded during that time frame when it gets up to around there. And because when the volume gets really high, compared to the average, when the volume gets high, then what's happening is investors like you and I are probably not the ones causing that. If the volume's extremely high, that tells me that the hedge funds, the investment firms, the mutual funds, somebody's putting a lot of money either in or out. Okay, so take those things into consideration. Ride it out until you're not comfortable riding it out anymore. A lot of this stuff just comes down to common sense. But if I get to 8, I'm happy. Say it goes on, man, it goes up to 15. I don't care. If I get to 8, I've made the money I want, and I'm going to move on. There's always going to be that one thing you're going to get out of, and it'll keep going. You know what? So what? I've had homes that I've sold, and a year and a half later, found out I could have doubled the money on it had I been able to stay in the house. But life was doing what life was doing, and I wasn't able to stay in the house. I had to move for a job, and such is life. Did it suck? Yeah, I watched about $250,000 go by the wayside. It sucked, but so what? You know. Anyways, sometimes that's just how you have to look at these things. So what I did, and I kind of did the same thing. All right, FET. Let's go back and look at FET. How did I come up with the price point for FET? This isn't rocket science. This is just looking at the trend and let the trend be your friend. I'm looking at a 1 year chart, and let's look back here real quick. So FET, I picked it up at I picked up at 80 or 38 cents a share. 38 cents. Now look back over here at this trend. Now, this trend isn't really the most beautiful trend I've ever seen, but like right here, 97 cents a share. Let me see what I put down here. I don't keep track of the 95. All right. I always think I'm not going to wait to get the maximum possible or probable. But if I hit 95 cents a share or somewhere near there, I've made good money compared to what I bought it for if I sell it at that point. That's the things you got to look at. That's what matters. Now, might it go up to 5? It might, but this doesn't look real strong for doing that. Some of these others do, and so I've set the price point for what I feel is comfortable or a good probability of meeting once they get past or over this virus thing. And I'm just going to ride the virus thing out. Will other things come along and be applicable? Yeah, but for right now, the virus is having a big impact on the market, and I want to benefit from that impact. So that's where I got these price points for you. And I think this is a good exercise for everything that you buy. Because if you don't do it, you will emotionally decide, and you don't want to emotionally decide. Look at the numbers. The numbers don't lie to you. The trends don't lie to you. Now, again, do I have a crystal ball? No, I can't fortune tell. Okay, but I can look at the trend. I think anybody can reasonably look at this and go, well, yeah, you get past this virus stuff, and there's a good chance you're going to be somewhere around, close to $1 a share. If I get to that, I'm thrilled. Okay, that's the kind of stuff. But again, go through and set your goal, and then use this when you're looking at the performance. I look at my chart probably multiple times during the day. Why? I like doing it. It gives me something to do other than, work and Facebook, I guess. So I look at this. I look at what the total changes are. I look at the daily gains and losses. Now this, you gotta keep in mind, like these numbers, this looks really big, doesn't it? But I bought it at a little over 24 cents a share. It at one point went up to like 30 cents a share, okay? And now it's back to 24. Yeah, that's what these things do. At one point, my portfolio was up to like 30% gain, and I saw it drop as low as 6. So what? I'm just sitting back, letting my money work for me. It's like you have an employee. Some days they work harder, some days they don't work as hard. That's the way life goes. So I think that gives you a little idea of where I'm at today, some of the things that I'm involved in. I'm not telling you to invest in these. For me, these hit the numbers and they have the parameters that I'm looking for. See, look at that one. That's a beautiful trend right there. I don't think anyone would dispute the fact that get past this virus drunk, and we're probably right back up to around here. That one's going to be fun. I mean, that one there, if I bought it at a little under 7, and if I sell it for almost 17, Now, one of the reasons I track this stuff is I'm planning on putting so much money per month into my investment account. And I'm going to go, now, after a while, I'm going to quit adding different securities. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to start adding more shares. So I may not make as much, but like this here, say I had $500 to invest next week, and I'm looking at all these. Well, this looks really solid. I may go, well, you know what? I'm going to add some more shares to this one. Why? It makes sense. It makes a lot of sense. And when I look back at this, let's look at the stats on this. Come on, paint the screen. Sometimes these things take a little longer than they should. Okay, so far for me, ladder is up 17, almost 18%. So yeah, if I had an extra $500, I would buy some more shares of this because I think there's a good chance it's going to continue going. That's how I see it. You got to look at it and figure it out for yourself. Now, one of the things I want you to think about it, and I wish I had someone show me this when I was younger. If I was younger right now, if I was in my early 20s, you're probably working a job, and that job's kind of barely getting you by. That's life. But here's what I'm getting at is you want to invest, and right now you're going, I don't have any extra money to invest. If I was your age again, knowing what I know now, knowing the things I've been trying to teach in these videos so you can think for yourself in this stuff and trade for yourself and make your own money and be in control of your future, what I would seriously consider doing would be getting a second job and taking that second job's earnings, and I would be putting that into my investment account and let that money then work for you. Put this another way. It's only been a couple of weeks, and I've got like $1,260 invested, or $1,290, somewhere around there. And so far, it's made me. If I sold out right now, I'd be looking at $163 profit in a couple of weeks. What have I done? Click, 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 click. That's it. The rest of the stuff is just goof around because I like doing it. But the point being is it hasn't taken me a whole lot of time to make this kind of money. What if I had 10 times that? Could you imagine if you made an extra $1,600 in a couple of weeks and did that consistently? How would that change your life? And you might go, well, I don't have $10,000 or $12,000 right now to invest. I don't either, but I'm going to keep adding to it, and eventually I will. And if you're a young person, and if you got diligent about it, I know young people who work a second job just so they can go on a vacation once a year. Vacations are great things. Everybody needs them, right? But again, let me ask you the question. If you had $12,000 and you were averaging, say about anywhere from $1,000 to $1,500 a month that you made profit off of the stock market, would that change your life? Think about it.